All right, folks, good morning. Let's get started. So, for today, sorry, I'm a little ahead of myself. For today, Wednesday, July 17th, we have the following. 8:30 a.m., we had building permits, which came in stronger than expected. And we had housing starts, which also came in stronger than expected. 9 a.m., we have FOMC member Barkin speaking. Not expecting that to have a significant market impact. At 9:15 a.m., we'll have industrial production month over month, which should have a moderate impact, and capacity utilization rate as well, which should have a small impact. At 9:35 a.m., we'll have FOMC member Waller speaking. That is expected to have a medium impact, so that will start just 5 minutes after market open. Um, and 2 p.m. we'll have Beige Book, which is not expected to have much of an impact. Now, that means the opening of the market will be tricky since we'll have an FOMC member speaking. It won't be Powell, so the impact should be a lot less, but nevertheless, we'll have to watch carefully how things start out at the beginning of the day. All right. Having said that, let's take a look at which stocks were moving yesterday. Before we do, let's first take a look at the NASDAQ ETF, the QQQ. And as you can see, it is sharply lower than where it was yesterday. Okay. Yesterday's action was neutral. Um, the market opened higher than where it closed the previous session, but it gave up a good portion of those gains, but it still stayed up. Nevertheless, this opening is sharply lower, and looks like we've lost excuse me, a significant amount of bullishness uh, overnight, and we'll see what happens. But yesterday's trading action was not that impressive. For the most part, we only had two stocks that even remotely were decent. One was Mondelez, which was able to go about three-fourths of the way to its target number two to the upside. It ran into some strong resistance along the way and pulled back sharply after that. But then later on, it was able to pass target number two to the upside, 65, 61, but we weren't at all looking at it that late. Uh, and then there was eBay, which was able to pass target number one to the upside, 54.83, and went about 60% of the way to target number two to the upside before flattening out a bit and then topped out at 55.50. So other than those two stocks, PayPal was also bullish. It was able to reach target number one to the upside of 61.93 and then topped out 62.02, but that was it. So again, not a very eventful session yesterday as far as trading opportunities are concerned. But a lot of times you'll have days like that. Oh, actually, there is one more I should mention. CLSK, very, very choppy, and I would say not likely that anyone was able to exploit this successfully, but it was able to reach target number two to the upside of 19.98. All right, so having said that, let's take a look at which stocks are moving in the pre-market. Um, right now, there it is. Right now, I have quite a few stocks. So ADTX is first. That is currently up 67% on 11 million shares. It's at least $1 per share. So we will add that to the pre-market watch list for stocks. Again, the symbol is ADTX. Next up, we've got ASST, which is up about 30%, 5.1 million shares. It's at least $1 per share. So we'll go ahead and add that to the pre-market watch list. Next up is GDTC, which is currently up 25.5% on 2.5 million shares, and it's at least $1 per share. So we'll go ahead and add that to our pre-market watch list. Next up, I believe, is INTC. No, it's only up. INTC is up sharply, so we will watch that at the open, but not up enough. It's up about 4.28%, but that is a pretty big pre-market move, so definitely we'll keep an eye on that one at market open. But just we'll mention it, but it won't be added to the list. Next up is LCFY, which is presently up 22.4% on 2.8 million shares, and it's at least $1 per share. So we'll go ahead and add LCFY to the pre-market watch list. Next up is LGVN, which is presently up about 22% on 7.9 million shares, and it's at least $1 per share. So we'll go ahead and add that LGVN to the pre-market watch list. Next up, we have Microalgo, MLGO, which is presently up 13.38% after being up a lot higher. Over 8 million shares traded. It's at least $1 per share, so that will be added, MLGO, Microalgo, to our pre-market watch list. Although it doesn't qualify, NVIDIA is down sharply as well, but that looks like it's just following the market, down 4%. That's one of the reasons INTC is so impressive, that it's up sharply despite the rest of the market. So we won't add NVIDIA to our pre-market list, but worth noting. Next up is Sava, SAVA, which is currently down 26% on about 1.9 million shares. It's trading at around $9.90 a share. So that definitely qualifies. Looks like it's down off of some news. Let's see here. Leadership changes apparently are the reasons for the sharp decline. All right. Next up, we have SHIM, which is presently up about 42.52% on 3.9 million shares. It's over $1 per share. Says here they got a $27.6 million subcontract for California project. So that's the reason why it's up. Either way, we'll add that to our pre-market watch list, SHIM. And lastly, actually, this one doesn't qualify. I was going to say SoFi, but it doesn't qualify. All right, folks, so if you see any other stocks other than the ones that I just mentioned that fit all four of our criteria, let me know in the chat. I would click on your settings, Daniel, and change it to HD. If it's blurry, that's why. So you click on the YouTube gear icon to change the display, the resolution settings, and change it to HD. All right. So Silo is mentioned. That is presently up, down, sorry, 13.39% on 1.1 million shares, and is trading at just over $2 a share. So that will be added to the pre-market watch list. SILO, NVDL, that is presently up, down, sorry, 8.13%, 3.1 million shares. This is an ETF, of course, for NVIDIA. So yes, we can add that to our watch list, NVDL. Although obviously if we trade NVIDIA, we're going to have the same outcome except less leverage. Other than that, folks, if you see any other stocks meeting those criteria, let me know in the chat. We need a NASDAQ listed stock that is trading at least $1 per share in today's pre-market session. Must have achieved the stock must have achieved at least 1 million shares of pre-market volume and at least a 6% price change, positive or negative. No, I'm on True Edge right in front of you. So, nope. No problems that I've heard or am aware of. All right, folks. Uh, if you don't see any other stocks, I'll wrap up here. Please be sure to like the video. I see we got 12 likes, but more than 12 people watching. So please make sure to hit that like button. That greatly helps us with the YouTube algorithm. Also, after you've done that, subscribe to the channel. That way you get notifications for new videos. If anyone happens to be watching this on a replay and you're not familiar with our company, check out fundertrading.com, our website. You'll see a link in the description of the video. ADTX is mentioned. Okay, let's see. Let me see. Do we already have ADTX? One second here. We already had ADTX. That's already been added. So, all right. All right, folks, we'll go ahead and wrap up for today. For those of you in the coaching room, I'll see you there in about 24 minutes. For everyone else, I'll see you for tomorrow's pre-market pulse. Now, we might not, I will be in Chicago tomorrow, so I'll check in the evening to see if everything is working as it should be. But usually when I'm in Chicago, for some reason, YouTube does not allow, I always have issues with YouTube doing the pre-market pulse. So I'll see if it's working. But for right now, I will not put I'll schedule the pre-market pulse for tomorrow. But if anything goes wrong, I'll just put a note on the YouTube channel to note that we're having technical problems. Okay. All right, folks. Shim has already added Sniper. Have a good one. See you guys for tomorrow's pre-market pulse. Hopefully. Take care.